our quarterback really can't keep, no, he's not our quarterback. He's our backup quarterback. He can't keep his mouth shut, y'all. So in case you didn't know, Netflix, they dropped their new docuseries about, NFL quarterbacks. It's called Quarterback. And they take, a few quarterbacks and they follow them throughout the season. And they do the highs, the lows, the in-betweens and all that. And Kirk Cousins, this is his second time on this show. And he had a lot of quotes in this whole thing that just make you sit like, bro, do you have a problem with shutting the hell up? He says a lot of things in poor taste. I think he talks too much. He says things that he shouldn't say. And this one quote just has me completely over the entire Kirk Cousins saga already. And I have the quote right here. It was made by, get out my business. It's made by Falcons Formula rather. I need to follow them on Instagram. Okay, I got a screenshot of it. This is what the quote says. The information I had at the time, I made the best decision. You also know that if you sit down week 10 and take 2 or 3 weeks or more to let it heal, you may never get your job back. Okay, let's look at this quote piece by piece, okay? So let's look at that first part. If you take a few weeks off, you may never get your job back. So Kirk Cousins, in my opinion, in that situation, you were being really insecure about yourself, okay? Well, let's look at how the season was going up to that point. We were 6-4 and we were still atop the NFC South. Okay, you had us in a position that we weren't in for a very long time. So to have this notion that if I sit down for a few weeks, I could lose my job when you were the one that had us in that position in the first place? No, bro, you were not losing your job. And now after seeing Mike play, I understand why he was scared. Yeah, that man can throw the ball, bro. And even Jesse and Kay Nellis, they said the same thing. Bro, Mike was tearing us up on scout team. He's doing things that I've never seen a rookie do. Jesse was saying, bro, I'm over here, all the way over here. Mike is not even looking at me. And Jesse was like, hey, Mike, did you see me doing it? He was like, yeah, I saw you doing that. You did this, that, and the third. He's like, bro, how did he see me do that? I made a tweet about it before, bro. Kirk Cousins literally must have seen Mike making these throws in practice and was like, man, if I sit down, I am done. I'm cooked. But bottom line, to have this notion that you would have lost your job when you were the reason why we were at the top of the division, that just wasn't going to happen unless Mike was just playing completely out of his mind. That wasn't happening. We saw, and obviously based on how the season ended, Mike had not worked with the ones up to that point. So to act like you would have lost your job when, it just doesn't make sense to me, man. It really doesn't. So the next part of the quote right here, I remember reading Drew Brees' book back in 2010 when he first wrote it. How he made the point that he tried to never let his backup see the field, even if it was somebody who was really no threat. Now that's kind of ironic because you saw the field just like that in the same way. You became an established quarterback in the same manner, and I understand that, and that's probably another reason why you were scared to lose your job. And I understand Drew Brees is a very good quarterback. He was a great quarterback even. But you never let another man really influence your decisions like that, bro. Especially when we're talking about something like this where a Super Bowl is on the line. I'm not saying we would have won a Super Bowl, but you're playing for something, right? You don't let somebody else affect your decision making. If you know you cannot throw that ball how you want to, you sit your ass down. Let's put it like that. You sit down. We already went over it before. If you sit down and you say take a couple weeks off, let's say, put it like this. Let's say he sits down after the Denver game. He tries to play through that game and it's still not the same way it was. Okay. Kirk Cousins sits down for the bye week. He sits down for the Chargers game. He sits down for the Vikings game and the Raiders game. That's 4 weeks of not using that arm. 4 weeks. Let's say we still go 1-2 because I don't think we win those games with Penix necessarily because that's the number one defense, and that's also another very good defense that we played, okay? Let's say we still went 1-2. Furthermore, let's also say that we still finished the season 8-9. We still finished the season 1-2 in our last 3 games. In my opinion, the season optics go from, hey man, Kirk really blew those 5 games for us. We probably could have been in the playoffs if it weren't for him. It could have went from that to being, man, if we would have had better injury luck with our quarterback situation, we could have made the playoffs. Let's run it back. And let's hope Kirk is going to have a fully healthy 17 games. It goes from that to that. It goes from, Kirk, you're the reason we weren't in the playoffs to, hey, man, Kirk, if we get a full season, we can make the playoffs. Let's make a run at it again. It goes from that to that. One decision can change the entire outlook of a season, bro. That's football for you, man. And so the last part of this quote, and I'm going to be talking about the fans this time. So here it is. So that was something I always was aware of. That in this league, if you give someone else the chance, if you want to get Wally pipped and there's a Lou Gehrig behind you, that can happen at the time. Okay. When I made the tweet about this quote, because I posted this same exact thing. I posted this on Twitter and I called him you gonna see it on your screen. Okay. I called him that. I stand on what I said because that's what he is. He's selfish. But a lot of people are saying, bro, I would have done the same thing if I was in that position. Have you ever played sports? Because if you play sports, you would know like this is a normal thing, yada, yada, yada. But like, once again, bro, we have 2020 hindsight in our favor. We know how the season played, and we also know that Kirk is on record for saying a lot of dumb shit. Kirk Cousins would have gotten the benefit of the doubt had he told the truth. That's my whole thing. Okay, and also people are blaming Raheem Morris, and let's talk about that real quick. At the end of the season, Raheem Morris and Terry Fontenot, they exclusively said we were not aware of any injury from Kirk Cousins. He did not tell us there was nothing going on, and people are saying, well, look at how he was playing, bro. It was obvious he was hurt. You know, the arm strength wasn't there. You know, he just couldn't put the ball anywhere. That lets me know people really weren't watching him throw the ball. Kirk Cousins never had a live arm, and I talked to somebody on Twitter today. They were saying how he couldn't even hit out routes anymore. Kirk Cousins was never hitting out routes consistently on this team. Like, he had a couple of them drop. Like, he had a couple of picks dropped. Like, I'm so dead ass when I say that. Like, he was never hitting those out cuts consistently. But once again, to act like he's just not at fault and he was completely justified, like, no, he's not completely justified because he lied about it. And once again, if he didn't lie about it, if he was like, hey man, I'm hurt, I'm going to play through this injury, I'm going to try to tough it out, yada, 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 he would have gotten some grace. I wouldn't have given him as much shit. And would I have told him to sit his ass down and let Mike play? Yes. I would have the same thing. But the fact that you lied about it, tanked our season because you were afraid of a rookie, mind you, to lie about it, tank the season, and then come out Super Bowl week and say, oh man, I injured my throwing arm and I was never really the same. So which one was it? Like, were you fine or were you hurt? And I don't know which one it is, but I'm going to take him at his word now. You were hurt. So you lied about being injured. You said that you were fine. You said it was a clerical error. And now all of a sudden you're hurt? No. One, you're trying to save face, and two, you're trying to paint a bad image on this franchise, which it already has a bad enough image, okay? Like, you're trying to pretty much sit up here and say, hey man, the trainers didn't see that. Nah, like, I was hurt. No. You lied about that injury. You played through without telling anybody, and now everybody looks bad because of it. And because you want to lie about that injury, you have an entire negative image about you because of what you did. Now, once again, had you just sat out and owned up to it, you would still have a good standing with this fan base. A lot of us don't like you anymore. Like, I used to love Kirk Cousins, like, when I was younger. Like, I thought he was a really good quarterback. But now he's on my team? No. Get him off my team ASAP. But the bottom line of me making this is, can we please hold him accountable for what he was saying? Can y'all not defend this man for lying? Because a lot of y'all are defending a man for lying to y'all. Let that sink in. He lied to the fan base and y'all are defending it. Some of y'all are defending it. I'm not saying all of y'all, but some of y'all are defending this. No, there's no defending that. And the second thing is, Kirk, if you would have just sat your ass down, you would have been in good standing with everybody, and the optics of this season would have looked way better. So let's not make an impulsive decision next time. Let's really think this through. But it's too late for that because no team wants you. You're the backup quarterback, and we're probably getting rid of you after this season. So have fun, enjoy retirement. You stole a lot of money from a lot of organizations. Cool. Anyways, y'all, if y'all did enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more. I'll do upload Falcons content. And once again, there's 3 more videos to come out. It's gonna be very much positive. It's nothing gonna be like this, but I'll see y'all later next video. Goodbye.